Hey guys, what is up? It's Jordan or JDM Brothers. I'm bringing you another life story here, and it's actually about the time I had sex in a porta potty. Yes, weirdly and sadly, I actually had sex in a porta potty. Before I even get to today's video, make sure to check out the last video I posted where I talk about the first time I get drunk and I kind of got head from a guy. I know, what the fuck, JDM, are you gay? No, it was a long story. Just go check it out. I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna enjoy it. But anyways, to get into today's story. So this was actually summer, the last summer we had. I graduated from being a junior to a senior, and we were about two and a half weeks into summer, and one of my friends was like, yo, I'm throwing a party, you should come over, bring your brother. And I was like, alright, cool, whatevers. So me and my brother head over to the party. You know, we were originally gonna be, you know, just gonna chill, not flirt with any girls or anything, and we ended up going as each other's wingmen, even though we weren't really gonna flirt. It's kind of hard to explain. But anyways, we head over there, and you know, we're just partying, hanging out and whatnot. And we ended up sitting on the couch for about, you know, 30 minutes or so, just talking and shit and chilling with friends. And this girl comes up to us, and originally I thought she was gonna come up to me because she was looking at me while she was coming over. But then she ends up turning and talking to my brother, and you know, they just hit it off or whatever. They just started talking, and they left. So my brother pretty much left me alone and dumped me or ditched me for a chick he didn't even know. He ditched his own brother, pretty much. He ditched his own brother for a girl he didn't even know. That is so cool, dude. That is so cool. But anyways, I'm just sitting there bored as hell, so I ended up getting to the point where I was like, fuck this shit, I'm gonna go home, I'm tired, and there's nobody here even to talk to. So I pull my phone out of my pocket, start heading out the door, and I mean literally, as soon as I grabbed the doorknob, was about to open that door, a girl came up behind me screaming my name. She was like, yo, Jordan. And I'm like, what the fuck? Turned around, and she's right there, and I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? Do I know you? She goes, oh, well, we used to talk a year ago, but, you know, we kind of didn't talk much anymore. And I'm like, oh, my bad, you know, I probably just don't have you in class anymore. She goes, no, you have me in a couple classes, but you just never talked to me. I'm like, oh, shit, my bad. So we ended up talking for like two and a half minutes, something like that, 10 minutes for all I know. And she ends up going, hey, can we go outside and, you know, walk around a little bit and talk out there, because I could barely hear you and I could barely think inside. I'm like, alright, whatever. So we head outside. We ended up walking around a complex, and keep in mind, her complex was still under construction at the time, so they had a bunch of houses that were still getting built. So yeah, just keep that in mind. So we're walking down the street, and we ended up getting to the point where we just started kissing out of nowhere. You know, we were just making out, and we ended up getting heated, which for those of you who don't know what that means, or what I'm trying to say by that, is we ended up getting horny. So we wanted to have sex, obviously. And I ended up going to her, hey, do you think there's any rooms open in the house? And she goes, no, most likely not, but hold up, I got an idea. So she grabs my hand, and we start running towards this abandoned house that hasn't even been built, or hasn't even been built all the way. It's got, you know, the roof and the walling and the windows on, but, you know, there's no door and nothing's painted, and, you know, you just knew it wasn't done. So we started heading down there, and I was thinking, oh shit, you know, we're about to have sex in an abandoned house. That sounds about fun. And no, as we're heading there, she ends up turning like to the left, I think it was, or right, something like that, and heading towards this porta potty. And she ends up getting to the porta potty, opening it, and tries to pull me in. I go, whoa, 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 I'm not having sex in a porta potty. She's like, are you sure? You don't want to have sex with me? And you know, of course, I was a guy, I was horny. What was I gonna do? I was like, fuck it. I walked in there, you know, I did my thing, dropped my pants, whatnot. We did our thing, but one thing that happened that kind of scared the living shit out of me, that I think was funny now that I think of it, is we were doing it, and we kind of both leaned back towards the back of the porta potty, so it started leaning over, since it was kind of like on a hilly-ish kind of dirt pile, I guess you could say. It was starting to lean back, so I was like, fuck this. So I pushed her away from me the other way, and I jumped up on top of her. That way it would lean back the other way and not tip over. That I thought was pretty funny. Now that I think of it, it probably looked fucking retarded. But I don't know. We ended up doing our own thing. We walked out, and one of our friends actually did see us as we were walking out. He just looked at me and just gave me that look like, dude, did you really just do that? But you know, I'm a guy. I'm a teen. I was horny at the time. Guys do what guys gotta do, I guess you'd say. But anyways, guys, I hope you did enjoy this story. It was kind of weird. Let me know if you guys are actually into these life stories, and if I should keep doing them as short as I am, or make them longer, you know, maybe 7-8 minutes long. I don't know. But anyways, guys, actually, one more thing I do want to say that's really important. I'm sorry about all the sex stories. It's just, you guys seem to really, really love them. Let me know if I'm wrong. You know, maybe you guys are annoyed by these sex stories. If you are, just let me know and I'll stop them. Anyways guys, my name is Jordan or JDM and I'm out. Peace.